All right, cool. Welcome to week seven, all. This week is entitled "Love in Inflation in the Air." Not AI. Pardon me. Okay. We got Dave, Larry, Wani, Kurt, and KS. All right, perfect. And let's make sure my NASDAQ trades are okay. Yeah, we're okay. All right, cool. So yeah, lots of things to talk about. PPI, CPI, Germany, precious metals, crypto, Ukraine baloney. It's a madhouse. So we got lots of updates. Um, yeah. All right. Cool. So, but before I forget, it's Valentine's Day tomorrow, and I believe the emails have went out. I'll have to double check with Dennis. But yeah, we're gonna meet at our old classic Denny's on Awana, so 6 to 9 on Friday, and it's not gonna be raining, so traffic shouldn't be too bad, I hope. So yeah, looking forward to see you guys, and yeah, I'll be there till we close down the restaurant. All right. Cool. We'll
The
look over.
emails did go out.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. And yeah, I'm just super excited to see everybody. And for everyone else that doesn't have a life, please hang out with me. All right, I'll be good times. And let's see. We'll look up idiots of the week in just a bit in real time. And we'll go over our index overview, of course, and lots of good stuff on fear and greed per the usual. We'll take a look at the Stock Traders Almanac, and I'm so glad to retire January finally. And we'll also, oh yeah, what was this? Oh yeah. We'll take a look at our sector rotation tool with stock charts and, oh, this is last week. We'll get rid of this. And oh yeah, let me clear this off. Okay, cool. And we'll talk about earnings. It's a little bit lighter this week, but yeah, we'll take a look at some big names like Reddit and whatnot. And in the social media side, yeah, Reddit and Google are not playing nice, which is interesting. Cool. We'll take a look at the Wall Street Bets crowd and see what they're doing this week. And in the general news cycle, we got again major economic news. And as a throwback to last week, I still really want to make sure folks understand the market is crazy frothy. And with NVIDIA inflows from retail at like record highs, it's just insane. And we got NVIDIA's earnings in what, 10 days? So yeah, it's going to be crazy. Cool. And again, we have PPI data, and PPI is the obvious forward-leading indicator for CPI. Like prices get passed to the consumer one way or another, whether it's tariffs or even excise taxes. So it's not a good foreshadowing here.
The PPI had no reaction today. And the funny thing, I just wrote about this, making fun of people, is that CPI had fully recovered all the losses from yesterday by 8 o'clock this morning, California time, which is just, or maybe it was East Coast time.
Yeah.
I mean, all of this, oh, the world's going to explode. It was all recovered. It's just a joke.
I mean, what market is only up 0.5% at the moment. So yeah, it's not quite the biggest deal. I'm with you.
Well, no, so I'm against financial news.
I hear you. But yeah, in the more macro sense, beyond just the momentary PPI, we're still screwed on the economic freight train. We're still going off a cliff at full speed.
Yeah, yeah.
In case you didn't realize that.
Well,
Uh,
effectively, the world has seen zero growth for almost 3 years now.
I mean, Elon can cut $1 billion every single day, and we would still get our throats slit. Like we need like 300 years for Elon to fix the budget. But yeah. Cool. So we'll take a look at those numbers and pivoting to black swans. Not quite black swans, but we do have many updates on theaters of war. So um, I thought this was kind of relevant, but we have the world's first transgender sanctuary city. And I want to bring up Camille Paglia when we talk about this. And the parallel with the end of the Roman Empire with transgender mania. So we'll take a look at that in just a bit. And pivoting to Putin and Trump, we have a visit. We have a 90-minute phone call that went really well. We had a unexpected prisoner exchange and goodwill relations there. So it's kind of nice that adults have sat down and are discussing things civilly. And of course, there's rare earth in the deal.
Oh,
Hilarious.
yeah. The adults sitting down, that's a message that the Democrats need to see, like repeatedly.
Yeah. And that's not the end of it, right? So here's some more details on a prisoner swap. And the American guy is a former teacher who got caught with an ounce of weed. Like, what the hell are you doing bringing marijuana to Russia? Like, but yeah, just a dumb stoner. And yeah.
Hey, it had a
Uh,
doctor's release.
he had a what?
He had a doctor's release, allegedly.
Well, so did the basketball player. I mean,
Yeah, it's a stupid idiot like the basketball player. Yeah.
I'm sorry. Don't these people, well, none of them have heard about the stories about Turkey.
I mean, they don't know that Singapore will kill you. This is Russia's like light, relatively speaking. Hilarious. And of course, don't leave no disaster, waste no disaster, right? So yes, with all of that empty space and buildings in the Ukraine, let's move in third world migrants.
Oh, that'll be the end of them.
It's like
That will destroy them.
it's going to be Siege of Vienna 2.0. It's inevitable. These are non-compatible cultures. Yeah, it's hilarious. Cool. And then I can't pronounce his name. Hegseth? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Secretary Hegseth? Okay. So he's at least set ground rules that the Ukraine will remain a buffer zone and it's not going to be allowed into NATO. Like, thank God, because that would have set off World War III. So, I mean, it's nice to have official statements now. And so as Ukraine fizzles
He
out,
also he also said that it's time for the Europeans to start taking care of themselves.
Well,
We're not going to subsidize their early retirements and all that other crap.
and their economy suicide.
yeah, and we'll
I mean,
talk Dax in just a second.
blowing up the pipeline, the natural gas, that destroyed Germany. It was Germany's the only country that showed significant economy strength, manufacturing, exports, and all that.
Well, they shut off their nukes.
Oh, well, that too. Yeah, that happened before.
Uh, Germany's never going to catch a break on like in this century. It's going to
I
take some time.
well, if they rebuilt their nuke power, they can do it.
I mean, infrastructure and energy, sure, but it's the cultural punishment for their great grandfather's sins. Like
No.
it's not fair, but it's okay. All right. So yeah. We'll talk to German Dax in just a second.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then as the Ukraine grift ends, the next one opens up. So it's gonna be the Taiwan Strait and of course Israel all over again. So good times. And I love that the media and the deep state is still setting us up for a Trump assassination by Iran and whatnot. So yeah, ridiculous. And pivoting to bankster and currency news, shout out to Lord Tethers for the sentiment score last week. I just kept it here just in case. We'll take a look at ETF holdings at the moment across the crypto landscape. And I think that's it for there because we have the PPI article in a different section. And then pivoting to domestic news, we'll talk Doge for a second. And while this is meaningful and USAID's reveal has been horrifying, it's still not enough. But this is definitely draining the swamp to a significant degree, ironically. So, yeah. And how many days has it been since Trump's been in office? 20, so 17 last week. So what is that? 24 days now? barely over 3 weeks. Yeah, it has been crazy. And yes, and with USAID falling apart, RICO charges and Google searches have been blowing up. And you know, I would like if there's any important department in Google's team, it would have to be on the Google ad side to see PPC analytics or to see Google Trend Analytics. If I could be a mole or hire one, those would be the two business units I would target. Cool. Maybe I should think about that in the future. Okay. And on a related note, we haven't talked about it in a while, but this was, if you guys remember the APAC meeting when Xi Jinping came into town, and I wanted to go break skulls last November. The California State Treasurer, um, uh, anyway, we'll talk about this when we get to this. Yeah. But again, like I know this lady, so we'll talk about our California State Treasurer and USA in just a bit. Okay, cool. And interesting little tweet here from Barron Trump on Doge's success, which is kind of interesting. So, yeah, like God, this is the president's son. Like this is pretty incredible. All right, cool. And I got some cool data for tariffs and what that's going to look like country by country. So we'll take a look at that and try to figure out what possible tradable actions are possible there. And this will leverage more like country-specific ETFs, like EWJ for Japan and blah 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 blah. So we'll take a look at that. And then I don't have a lot of real estate news, but we'll take a look at ITB per the usual, our home builders ETF. And we got a lot of tech news at the moment. So let's fast forward through our memes. And yeah, Jeff Bozo is going to give up or scaling down his phallic object operations and is going to defer to SpaceX. And while USAID and Doge is cleaning up a lot of government grifting, SpaceX has been collecting a lot of contracts. So we'll take a look at that. It's kind of, I mean, political graft and payback, right? Of course. And one of Biden's outgoing State Department budgets was for armored Teslas, like the Cybertruck.
Cancel them.
So what was that, Dave?
Just cancel them.
Yeah, just hilarious. But yeah, we'll take a look at this.
Yeah.
And then on a good happy note, Google has scaled back a lot of their crazy holidays, and it's wild. They're kissing the ring. I can't believe it. And yeah, and then more Tesla news. Tesla's falling apart. Elon's not really running the show, so we'll see. And he's trying to do the robo-taxi moving goalposts and saying, yeah, we're going to deploy in Austin by summer. Like we're going to hold you to it. If you guys remember, we're still tracking his FSD progress, and we have the FSD timeline. Like someone compiled all of his statements, and we've been missing all of his promised deliverables nonstop for over a decade. So let me drop this in the chat in case you've never seen this before. But yeah, it's just the Fugazi. It's always been. And
You can't measure people like that. I'm just gonna put it simply.
wait,
Tech
what?
tech people over promise and then they have to pull back. And what they pull back to is far more than anybody else could have done. I'm sorry, it just got
Sure, but this
everybody I
is
know
but this
risks
is
getting fired because they their tendency was to overpromise.
no, but this is different, right? This is like a state-sponsored operation, so it's not organic. It's not the free marketplace making these moves.
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. But I get your sentiment. Yeah. But yeah, we'll take a look at these numbers and Tesla's performance. And this is kind of interesting. If you guys here, let me scale this down a little bit. So this is I guess liberal outrage, but yeah, no Nazis in America. Tesla's owners, you better trade or sell your car by February 12th. After that, it's open season. This is a call to violence. This is a declaration of war. Like they're gonna spray paint your car, slash your tires, break your windshield, just because they don't like the philosophy of the guy in charge.
And
This is just literal children for you.
there needs to be a story. We're gonna throw you in jail and it's open season on beating you to death.
Yeah, and it's ironic that unarmed people are talking shit to armed civilians. It's just like, okay, please F around and find out what happens.
Mm.
Yeah. All right. So that's exciting. And shifting to labor news, we'll take a look at the latest come and take it updates from the federal workers. And last Thursday was the deadline. So we'll take a look at the aftermath. And pivoting to international news, again, as promised, we will definitely take a look at the German candles and see how DAX is performing. And this is a huge, greater fool theory in effect. So we'll take a look at that. Lots of fun oil news, no less. And I happened to drive by Bishop Ranch in San Ramon yesterday for picking up something. And it was sad to see like Chevron's headquarters have really departed. Like the logo's gone on that entire side of what is it, Bollinger Canyon and stuff. Yeah. So kind of sad. And for the property developer, that was a multi-billion-dollar development for San Ramon, Bishop Ranch. Yeah, yeah. Their property manager name is I think called the Sunset Organization, and it's a tough break. That project's not doing very well. It should have done really well, but yeah, California, Newsom destroyed that project, sadly. But yeah, and then Chevron after it moved to Austin, right? And now they're laying off people, so kind of crazy. And then on the flip side, Exxon is expanding operations and exploratory projects. So yeah, we'll take a look at our refiners too. And then for our coffee fiends, we'll take a look at Arabica coffee bean prices and Polar Vortex. Is spiking natural gas prices. So crazy. All right. And pivoting to precious metals news, gold right now is 29.17 and silver's about 32 bucks. And gold silver ratio has picked up a little bit to 90.6. If you recall, it's been hovering at 88.5 forever with our Thursday check-ins. So silver's getting a little bit cheaper week to week. And we'll take a look at actual receipt contracts or paper contracts getting converted into physical delivery. And it's crazy. Looks like this might break the city of London. And then Chicago goes, and then the Shanghai Gold Exchange goes. This is going to be crazy. So we'll take a look at the latest. And today's been massive profit taking. Like my gold and silver longs are pretty beat up today. It's hilarious. Okay. But yes, we'll take a look at China news. Lots of fun stuff here. I'm still trying to find the social media post I promised from 2 weeks ago, but I'm still working. It got scrubbed, so I'm trying to find a mirror somewhere. But yes, we'll take a look at CWeb and KWeb from last week. And again, similar to Germany, this is just sucker's play. And we'll take a look at the math and the numbers. Meanwhile, I got some more military news updates for you guys, and we'll take a look at that and espionage. And China Observer had an amazing breakdown of how grifting and con jobs work at the government level. And this is why the Rocket Force collapsed, because the leader there was a Xi Jinping disciple who was in charge of procurement. And that quartermaster was stealing everything that wasn't nailed down. So we got some numbers. So it's nice to get access to the ledger every now and then from the opposition. So we'll take a look. It's exciting. So yeah, that's the week. Pretty dense. And yeah, questions, comments? Oh, welcome, Tom, Joseph. And yeah, let me reshare the notes for the newcomers. All right, cool. So yeah, what did Larry add here? Oops, typo here. Okay, no worries. All right, cool. And quick reminder for the new folks, tomorrow we're having our hangouts at Denny's, like our old in-person meetings. We haven't done this in about 5 years at least. So if you don't have a life like I do, we're gonna hang out tomorrow on Valentine's Day from 6 to 9 p.m. Come have some ice cream and a quesadilla with your boy. So yeah, this is the old Denny's on Awawani, right next to the LinkedIn campus. So
Is
yeah.
there RSVP?
No, just show up. I'll be in the big room and yeah. Let me leave my cell phone in case you guys need to contact me. Yeah.
Hey, Warren,
Yes, sir.
just to let you know, I was going to send you guys a note, but I was able to get data on the,
Los Altos.
yes. And you would like it yourself there. I mean, and getting it from SVOG, it's like $47 an hour.
It's better and more affordable.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you, Los
Yeah.
Altos.
So I'll send you guys the notes.
Proportionally, the amount of property taxes the poor Los Altos residents had to pay for slightly improved public goods is probably not equitable, but we'll take what we got. Cool. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
So translation for all the traders on the call, we're gonna have an in-person meeting probably April or May. So we're deciding that internally. So mark your calendars, and we're getting the band back together finally before everyone freaking croaks. All right.
That Los Altos Community Center was a very well structured government project. It only went $10 million over budget.
Only and that's a good day, right? Let's take a look. Let's see.
It's quite plush though.
Oh,
Yeah.
this is fancy. I've had weddings far less plush than this, okay? This is ridiculous. Kurt, your tax dollar's hard at work.
Yep. And Larry's. Yeah.
There's a future cafe. Is it built yet?
No.
Of course not.
That's another 10 million.
You know, if the California politicians were in charge of the Sahara Desert, they would run out of sand.
Yeah, exactly.
Kurt always comes with the coolest places to meet.
Yeah, no, this is all gonna be awesome. But yeah, we'll
Yeah.
take it over. We have our in-house DJ. We need to figure out who has in-house catering, and we'll have a blast. So yeah, good times. I'm excited to move our operations here. And to be frank, the Elks Lodge wasn't keeping up with, our lifestyle. Like it's really grimy there.
Yeah.
And that's post remodel. It's like, where did all the money go?
Exactly.
All right, sorry, we're getting distracted here. But yeah, looking forward to seeing you
The
guys.
Elks Lodge isn't able to levy taxes on its citizens.
That's right. It's private charity.
That's the difference.
Yeah. And the membership is literally dying. But shout out to, if you guys are Elks Lodge members, one of the coolest sites is Elks Lodge in Honolulu. They have their own private golf course. It is crazy. Alan showed me, we drove by. It's crazy. We don't have time for it, but it's gorgeous. So I would join strictly for this. If you're what's the joke? In the military, the Air Force, the Chair Force, right? They build the golf course first and then the airstrip after. All right. Sorry, I'm getting a little distracted. All right. So yeah, lots of fun things there. Let's start properly now with our poll of the week. And I would love to know where you think the S&P 500 will go by next week. So let me get that launched, and you should see it on your screen. Excellent. Oh, and then we have a couple of new folks that joined in. Let me share the notes one more time for you guys. Welcome. All right, cool. So yeah, if you can vote on your screen, I'll load our other data just as we finish. All right, cool. Thank you for our posters. Let me share the results. 80% feeling bullish, 20% feeling sideways. So some pronounced optimism improvement from last week. So that's pretty cool. And let's see if the buy and hold cohort of the American Association of Individual Investors feels the same way. No, not at all. They're terrified. What am I missing? Oh, if I'm in this category, and Elon's making budget cuts like crazy, I would be terrified. Okay, Medicare, Social Security, military spending. You gotta go after the big expenditures. There's no replacement for
Also,
that.
I thought Trump was gonna do retaliation tariffs today. Anyone heard about this?
I didn't see it in my news feed, but I do have an update on the overall landscape, country by country, and we'll review that in just a second. Yeah. Cool. So yeah, but I don't recall seeing this much bearishness even in November, December. This is interesting. I want to take a snapshot really quick.
We're most of the way to highest high.
Yeah, exactly.
I
So
I almost went to sideways because of that.
yeah, so but yeah, this cohort is not usually this fearful. So we should keep that in the back of our mind. That something is scaring the 60 plus crowd. All right, good to know. And I don't know who's speaking next week. Kurt, do you know? I forgot. We'll find out next week. Okay. All right. And again, Denny's tomorrow, 6 to 9 p.m. Come hang out if you have no life. If you have a life, then bring your date. All right. Let's take a look at Idiots of the Week. And again, here's your anti-suicide resources. And in case you're Canadian, here's your pro-suicide resources. Uh, the Canadians, good times. Wait, what happened? Internal server error. Wow, so many query strings are breaking. That is wild. Okay. Oh no, just a misfire. Interesting. Okay. Bizarre. Okay. All right. Let's take a snapshot. And I was a good boy and I did not unwrap the present in advance. We'll look at this together. All right. So number one loser is Reddit puts. Number two, can't tell, some kind of call. Oh, Tesla calls. Oh my gosh. Stocks eventually go up, right? No, not really. Buy the dip. Market giveth and the market taketh. And then the bell tolls for D. All right, let's look at our first loser. And we do have an article on Reddit's earnings in detail in just a bit. So, with the most romantic expiration possible, this is a Reddit put, and let's pull up the charts and take a look. All right. So yeah, it's been doing fairly well. Had not the best earnings, but relatively for momentum, they're still in strong inflows. I don't think it'll be safe to short this in earnest because there's still a lot of inflows. You need this to get close to the zero line or to cross it on the net momentum count. So yeah, so for the new folks, on balance volume is a better version. It's a surgical version of RSI for gauging momentum sentiment because this count is the net selling and buying of shares per day. Like, and you have the historical, landscape. And that's so much better than RSI's 70 or 30 interpretation. All right, cool. So yeah, that's Reddit for you. We'll do a deeper dive in just a bit. But yeah, not having a good time. It's a relatively young ticker. So let me see what the put call ratio is right now. 0.77. That's a smidge on the bearish side. But yeah, this could recover and it'd be hit and miss. Or this could be the pump and dump finishing right here. Interesting. But yeah, this kid lost $389,000. And no, I didn't sleep yet. Oh my God. You're not going to sleep until tomorrow. And with his strike price at 200, he's already dying. And this looks like it's going to recover. So you're smoked, man. Good job. What's the top comment? I am more interested in this than anything else right now. Edit. He's so effed. Shorting Reddit and posting it on Reddit, getting millions of views, thousands of engagement, and inadvertently bumping up Reddit's ad revenue from your short position is the most retarded shit I've seen. We can just end the show right there. Oh, this is so good. We gotta screenshot this. So yeah, people are going long on Reddit because of this post. That's so good. Ah,
Hey, Warren.
hey,
Warren.
what's up, Lonnie?
Yeah, but actually rated down like $15 today. It had some earnings.
Yeah. I know. Yeah, it's brutal. But yeah, and that kid's toast. So yeah. Cool. So that's Reddit. Let's look at loser number two. Oops, that's a screenshot. Pardon me. Let's look at number two. Oh, before we forget, we got to peek at this person as a human being. Is he Slavic? Is this Cyrillic alphabet time? Let's see what else he's posted. That's not English. Oh, he's Swedish. Ixon Walsh. Yeah, he's not. That's Swedish. This is our second Swedish loser, like back to back. That's definitely Swedish with the weird umlaut thing. Yeah, okay. That's funny. I should join this subreddit and see if there's funny stuff. But yeah, okay. So yeah, he's a weird secular Swedish guy. Okay. All right. Number two, Tesla. YOLO'd half my account looking for Tesla Gold because I'm effing retarded. Enjoy my lost porn because I got zero chance of recovery. Oh my God. He's selling calls at Tesla at what values? Oh my God. What is Tesla at right now? 351. What? He's selling at 545, 600. What is this low delta garbage? And short dated as hell. Holy cow. Down $125,000. What are you doing? Oh my God. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. You deserve to be cooked at these crazy strikes. Let's go to the option chain. Like, what's the probability of expiring out of the money? What's the probability of touch at those strikes? 500, 600. I have to expand my strike count because I can't fit that. That's ridiculous. All right. 99.5.8% or better. That's north of 3 sigma because 3 sigma is 99.5, right? If I remember, 98.5? Wait, let's do the math. 595 and oh, yeah,
99.6
yeah, okay, 99.6. So 3, sorry.
or 7 maybe.
Yeah, we'll do the hard. We'll do it. 600 minus 352 divided by the standard deviation of 1 is 24. So that's a 10 sigma move that this kid was selling or buying, sorry. When you don't know statistics, like no, this is not even statistics, this is just basic standard deviation theory. This is a very tiny subset of statistics. Like, wow, what is he doing? That's a 10 sigma move he was trying to sell. Sorry, to cash in on. He's buying a lottery ticket for a 10 sigma move.
Elon told him, who needs statistics, man? When Elon tells you.
Well,
You
she's
know,
gonna.
It'd be interesting to see if just how many people are doing verticals versus naked. I mean, these people who are being crushed are not betting good.
Right. These are insane ways to play. And what these are pennies, right? How many contracts? He's buying penny bets. And then how many pennies did he buy? Enough for 100 for enough for 6 figures. Like, that's
Did you see the open interest on 600? It's like 10,000. He's got all of them. Look at that.
This guy. Yeah.
He's got all of them.
And he has a GTC for 1 penny. That he's just staring at it all day. Oh my God. And then Flav's selling this, right? Flav is selling to this poor kid. Flav's like, if I'm not, I should be. Flav's gonna buy all the Tracy real estate with this. Oh, it's just I don't get it. Crazy, totally crazy. And even the like 450 strikes, you get into like reasonable like liquidity. I don't know, these dumb kids. God bless them. They help pay the rent. Here's Flav posting. Someone on Theta Gang is having a blast. Oh, so good. All right, we got to move on. Sorry, we're having too much fun here. Ah, what a loser. And let's look at his posting history. Who is this? Who is him as a human being? You know, we want to appreciate the person. Likes cats. All right. Red flag number one. It's not that I don't like cats. It's that when in a conversation between dogs versus cats, dogs are success objects, and cats are not at the same level. Yeah, okay. We're gonna skip this, but lots of cats. All right, so and then cat people and dog people operate very differently. So yeah, we don't have time to get into that, but yeah. Okay. Let's go to loser number three. Okay. Let's see. Stocks eventually go up, right? This guy has made catastrophic bets. All right. I'm gonna have to revisit this and just inverse all these trades because this is a beautiful EV hit list, plus some other things, right? Advanced Money Destroyer, Asana, Project Management, Blackberries. Incredible. Let's see what the top comments are. Yes, but not yours. Oh, yes. Yes, stocks do not always go up. Oh, poor kid. Let's see who this person is as a human being. Lots of internet points here, but no money. Uh, he's British. All right, minus 10,000 points right there. What did the Australians call the Brits? Whingy palms. Yeah, this guy's a huge football fanatic. Maybe you should study more technical analysis, homeboy, and less soccer porn. Okay. Poor kid. Okay. Number three of our five losers. All right. Glittering Attitude 6 days ago posted, what is this crazy interface? I don't recognize it. 212 stocks? What the hell? He's just all across the board. And diversified as hell, which means he has no idea what he's doing and everything's losing money. Beautiful. And why is he having 3G reception? Where is this guy living for 3G? What the hell's going on?
It wasn't it in pounds?
Yeah, pounds. Oh, okay, that's right, that's right. Pounds. Okay. So another Whingy Palm from across the pond. Your portfolio is that of someone who hates money. He has the worst selection of stocks. Who buys Kohl's stock? Oh, Kohl's. Oh, we got to take a look at our discount retailers, right? Kohl's is dying. Why am I not shorting Kohl's? Sorry, Warren doesn't take his own medicine sometimes. And then if you guys remember, Dollar General's losing like crazy. Oh, it's kind of going sideways. But what's the other one? Dollar Tree, right? Is the ultimate loser. Oh no, it's recovering. Okay, interesting. But we still know in the retail sector, it's all about Walmart, right? Obviously, and Costco. Yeah, those are our two heavy hitters. All right. Beautiful. All right. And let's end our last loser of the week, and let's see who's this. Mr. King Draco. 18 male. Oh my God, this is going to be beautiful. I've always been a conservative investor. For how many weeks? Grinding, saving, and investing in stocks, low-cost diversified ETFs, and a little bit of crypto since I was 15 through my dad's accounts. I turned 18 this summer and stuck to ETFs, but something foolishly clicked. I wanted extra income I didn't even need. And again, this is a position sizing abnormality because you're risking something that you can't afford to lose for something you don't need. So it's an improper judgment of risk versus reward. Okay, So yeah, I was doing well last week, but last week in just 2 days, I lost my life savings in high risk earning plays. IV Crush ate my portfolio for dinner. So which tells you he went long. And as the zero DTE data tells us, debit trades murder you. The only shot you have is to milk volatility crush if you're a retailer. And then he did zero DTE SPY revenge plays. Another sucker squared move here. And then I paper handed my final play, SPY puts last Friday, that would have recouped my losses if I held on for an hour longer. So he cut the line before expiration. Like he's not a good soldier. If you're committed, then you need to be the last, you need to defend to the end. You need to be the last man standing or the last man to fall. He's 18 years old. He doesn't know what that means. All right. Keep in mind, this is in the Canadian equivalent of a Roth IRA. He cannot tax loss harvest. The weight of this mistake is crushing. I want to go back in time. I can't bring to tell myself, my family, friends, or girlfriend. The mental toll has been immense. I feel completely empty all week. I've been struggling. Blah, blah, blah. Don't worry, there's euthanasia options in Canada. Ah, poor idiot.
He's young enough to recover.
Oh, yeah, but dad's not thrilled.
You can go out and hammer boards someplace or climb under houses and do plumbing.
No, the minorities beat him to it. The Jamaicans, the Sikhs, the
No,
Somalis.
we're going to fire all those people.
Well, this is Canada. It's not the US.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
But let's look at King Draco's post history for a second. All right, he likes anime and swordplay. Interesting. What's CRO? Small bets. But yeah, I love that he gives himself the accolade of, yes, I've been steadily grinding and investing conservatively as an 18-year-old for the last 3 years. It's funny. All right. What else does he like? All right, that's about it. All right, cool. Oh, fashion reps. Did you see that? Okay. If you guys remember, we've seen this at another kid. It's knockoff fashion replicas. He's buying knockoff clothes, buying and exchanging it. Dude, you're wearing counterfeits, trading stocks, and you think like your life is going to be normal. Like, no, it's not, homeboy. Just don't do that. And I know a lot of Asians with fake Rolexes, and it's just weak character, and those guys don't end up in good places. Yeah, but this kid's 18. He doesn't understand. All right.
Hey, the fake designer clothes are called dupes.
Say what, Larry?
The fake designer clothes are called dupes. That's
Dupes?
what the young kids.
Okay. Thank you. Let me look up Urban Dictionary for a second. I've never heard of this. Dukes.
That's out of the Wall Street Journal.
Wow. Let me look up urbandictionary.com. Dukes. Maybe the Wall. Oh,
Dupes.
how do you spell that?
DUPS.
Oh, dude. Oh, dupes. Sorry. I heard Duke. Oh yeah, dupes. Okay. That's more video game centric. So yeah. Okay. Yeah. And I'm a gold guy, so I don't like fool's gold. Not an inch. So I I don't play that game. All right, cool. Thank you, Larry. And yes, that's it. Idiots of the week. Entertaining as always. And yeah. You know what? These kids, keep our bellies full, and they can afford it. And mom and dad can back them up. All right. Excellent day. All right, let's get into our fun stuff. Let me get our toss going, and let's look up all our fun indexes. All right. Oops. Oh no. Don't maximize. All right. Okay. And let's again work our way across the 4 indexes: the S&P 500, the NASDAQ, the Russell 2000, and the Dow Jones. Let me check if housekeeping, we're good. Okay, cool. And let's see. So let's start with S&P 500. Let's start with the smartest side of the money house and with ES, so the futures contracts. And again, what is it? It's a green day, right? So as we've established this pattern, on green days, the big trading desks pick up lots of cheap hedges and they cash them in on red days. So today, 2.7, very high. Fair value is about one-ish. And but yeah, the bearish deltas are not urgent. And are we overpaying for protection? A little bit, right? Looking at the Flavian indicator here, they are overbidding for downside protection to a significant bit. That's 12%. That's like 1/3 more momentum than the overpaying call side. That's a little disturbing. There's a little bit of, basically, to interpret this, people are buying hedges a little aggressively. All right, let's pivot to the other sides of the S&P 500 to look for more clues. All right, let's look at SPX. All right, the big boy option contracts, the second tier of smart money, 1.271 on the put call ratio. So normal, this is a very normal range. Like baseline behavior is 1.3, right? And the bearish delta is only 69%. So the second class of smart money is enjoying a very nice, fun, normal channel bound day. Okay, good to know. Let's look at the retail side of the house, SPY. And again, you shouldn't ever trade SPY due to the tax inefficiency. Trade SPX. All right, fair value 1.3, and this is right there, and a very sleepy bearish delta. So a lot of optimism here. Yeah. All right. So you can't talk retail without talking the NASDAQ. So let's pivot there. But let's first look at our most important NASDAQ indicator of NVIDIA, right? The everything indicator. And yeah, we should start off with this. So yeah, and then how is NVIDIA performing? Very poorly, in truth, right? No momentum, no pickup. So institutions are selling, looks like, or there's just like, look, there's more net sellers than buyers. This next earnings is going to rip people's face off. And as a reference, don't forget, we have that retail, here we go. Retail investors rush to buy NVIDIA's dip. And for the last 2 years, it's never been this high. That's crazy. And people just assume every earnings cycle is going to be a slam dunk. Nope, 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 nope. They're going to get their faces ripped off. And I'll be there to pay for front row seats. All right, let's go back to the NASDAQ and start with the NQs. Again, we're learning the baseline numbers for this, right? So everything looks fairly normal. We're also learning NDX, but let's look at the NASDAQ 100 here. That looks pretty bullish. Yeah, that looks under 1 is definitely bullish. But yeah, let's go to the Qs, which we know the baseline behavior of. So for this side of the NASDAQ, 1.143. We know fair value is 1.3, and very sleepy deltas are not there, and no one's overpaying for hedges here as they should be. So yeah, the NASDAQ folks are totally clueless. They have no idea what's happening. And that makes a lot of sense. All right, let's go to the Russell 2000 side of the house. Let's load up the futures and see how that's shaken up. Fair value is north of 2, but we're still learning the numbers. But this seems very optimistic. Is it justified on the future side? Not really. People have been selling off overall. But let's look at the big boy option contracts, the 1256 equivalent with RUT. Again, fair value we're figuring out, but I figure baseline put call ratio is probably north of 1.5. So the 0.86 is very bullish. And we know that because the retail version of this, the IWM, we know fair value here on the put call ratio is 2.3. And 0.953 is extremely bullish. And the bearish deltas are not in play. So we're seeing a lot of strength in small caps here. But if we look at momentum, It's barely treading water at the zero line. In fact, it's a little bit on the downside now. So yeah, despite the frothiness in tech, there is some fear here. All right. And the Trump,
I bet
sorry.
there's somebody who's done proof of concept on put to call ratio.
What was the opening of that?
Well, I see these numbers every week and I think, but if anybody's doing a spread or anything complex at all, it's going to skew the numbers.
Oh yeah. But see, I've been looking at this for 6 years. So like and I can interpret a lot off of this. So and the fear is the whole benefit, the whole point of this exercise is we have figured out when and how the falling knife moves when it does. And this is watching the shadow of the knife falling. Because how do you know if it's a 1987 Black Monday or it's just a call to action to move all of my money into the Dow Jones?
Right.
Right? So index rotation, emergency, and then to Dave's point before, like if the market melts down, you should be going long VIX, and then you should be milking a reversion off of that. So there's lots of angles for this. So I understand your point of view, Dave. Like, why do we have to look at this? But for the newbies, this gives them numbers to look at, like how bad is the market falling apart, and should I buy this dip? You have to look under the hood.
Right, but yeah, I don't know. At some point, you have to think about people getting smarter. Does anybody have any idea if open interest is real time? Like if you buy 100 contracts, will that
No, it's always 1 day old.
Yeah.
yeah, see that?
So, well, open interest, this is looking at volume. He's looking at volume. Open interest is yesterday's close. So
Right.
open interest will
Volume
stay the
is
same.
today.
No,
Yeah, volume is today.
That's a really valuable data point.
Right. And the implied volatility is also important from before and after. There's a website we used to track. I need to find that again.
Right, but like code could do this in real time, and you could track it if open interest was real time.
Right. So a lot of this can be automated for sure. And I do have the standing master indicator wish list that I still need to build out. So I'm with you, Dave. Like this is a very manual process, but for the new folks to show the work, it kind of teaches them a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, like Dave, you're a full-time trader. Like this is
Well, just so
nothing.
you know, ChatGPT and there's another one that's actually better. Writes good code, and it'll write Excel stuff, and you can use the RTD for real-time data straight out of Swim.
No, that's fair. And we should sandbox a couple of these ideas. No, I'm with you, Dave. Yeah. But
And it's same thing with ThinkScript.
yeah. No, great points. But yeah, that's 3 of our 4 indexes. Let's pivot to the Dow Jones, and we're just gonna do the retail side of that and skip the rest. Because the YM futures, they're razor thin. You shouldn't even look at it. Okay.
It's not that bad. You can buy, 10 lots.
What's the contract count today? Let's see.
Well, I mean, the point is
Two.
you can't buy 100, and 10 lot will probably move a single price level.
There's no market. There's 2 contracts all day today. Like,
Oh, really?
Look right here. Here's the count.
Oh,
2.
so my buddy is on vacation. That's probably why it's almost 0.
Send him a text. Wish you were here.
I don't know where he's at, but he's not trading. He's not
Yeah.
showing up with his data every day.
Yeah, no worries. But this is the diamonds as right now. Oh, 0.666. There you go, mark of the beast. And that's bearish for retail. And fair value here, diamonds is 1.0. This is the most optimistic index of the 4. And again, index rotation strategies under duress. Money goes here. Okay, cool. Yeah, so that's that, and we can call it here for the index overview. Any questions, comments?
Yeah. Check out
Oh,
my pick. So that is put call ratio in the graph, so you can see it change daily.
beautiful.
So dollar CPCE.
Oh, that's so cool. Thank you. Let's put this in our
So
notes.
Put that
if
in
you
the
go
notes.
back and see how the days
Mm-hmm.
reacted,
Right, right.
so
Let
as
me,
opposed to one number, you see the historical value. So keep
right.
that ticker handy.
Yeah, let me copy this. Put it here. Okay, perfect. Thank you. That's so cool. CPCE.
Write some words so I can find it.
CPCE. There you go. Oh, dollar sign.
Dollar sign.
Dollar sign. Dollar sign. The
Hey,
mighty
Flavius, what is that? CPCE, what is that?
Put call ratio.
Oh,
They're all
historically. Yeah.
There,
Oh,
there's a few of those, but yeah, I like how when you look at the intraday, you see it, some days it starts high, some days it goes higher, some it goes lower. So
oh, I see. 1 month, 3 day. Okay, yeah. Oh no, 3 day,
no,
1 minute. 3 day, 1 minute.
yeah, each day, each one of those is a day.
Right, right, right. Cool. And yeah,
I guess it resets on a new day. So,
yeah, and you can see vol crush, right?
well,
Opening.
that's not vol crush,
Was
that's a
this
ratio
crush?
crush.
Ratio. Sorry. So let me think. That means
So in the beginning of the day, they had more puts,
right, and
and
then bearish, yeah, and then got better, and then evened out, and it tends to even out, and then from a zero DTE perspective, you avoid the first effing hour, and you surf the calm waters in the middle of the day. All right, because poodles are expensive. Okay, all right. Thank you, Flav. This is so cool. Put to call ration graph above.
I'm putting in
Oh,
one so I
yeah.
can find it.
Index CP, yeah. Okay, cool. Excellent. Very cool. So yeah, I think am I the tip of the spear when it comes to put call ratio analysis? I might be, right? Definitely. I'm maybe not world class, but we're approaching something. All right. Yeah, okay. So yeah, let's go to CNN's Fear and Greed Index and take a look at this. The aggregate score today is 45. Yesterday was 44. A week ago was 44 as well. And a month ago was 26. And a year ago was 66. And for the Chinese folks, 44 is a homonym for death. Exciting. That's why like Chinese people will not live on like if the house number is like 44, no Asian's gonna buy that.
License plates too.
Yeah. They'll pay top dollar for 88 whatever phone numbers or things with sevens or eights. Yeah. And again, it's a fear response. It's not a good thing. It's to be superstitious shows that you're bargaining with the future from a point of view of fear. So yeah. Okay. All right, let's look at our first indicator. Our 125-day moving average for the S&P 500. The buffer zone is decreasing, therefore the fear read, we'll give that a check mark. Heisenberg-Oman, comparing the tickers of 52-week extremes, highs versus lows, and looking at the delta remainder. And the remainder is fear because all the money is concentrated in the Mag 7 for the most part. And outside of the 52-week extremes, looking at a more median-esque value with the stock price BREF indicator here. Sorry. Here, this is also on the fear side. So yeah, market BREF is pitiful, and we should be fearful of a hype bubble and paralleling the meta fiscal situation, right? Or the macro physical situation, we're not going to get rate cuts. So yeah. So problems there. More bearishness. Thank you, CNN, the Clinton News Network, as it were. And let's look at the Stock Traders Almanac and Jeffrey Hirsch's research. So let's just look at February for now. February is a weak link in the best 6 months. Recent record, S&P up 9, down 6, blah, blah, blah. Number 3, NASDAQ month in presidential election years. Day before President's Day weekend, S&P down 19 of 32, blah, 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 blah. When is President's Day? Let's double check. Is it Monday? It is Monday. Are we open? CBOE. What's it? CBOE. President's Day. Are we open?
It's closed Monday.
Oh, oh. Okay. Okay, Monday's closed. Okay, I need to plan accordingly. Monday closed. Forgot about that. All right, cool. Thank you. Okay. All right, so that's President's Day. So yeah, might be a bearish weekend. And of course, overnight weekend risks. Like, if you're not a black belt, stay away. All right. And here's our S&P 500 index seasonality. Where are we? We're approaching Valentine's Day right here, right? And this stays disastrous and peaks on Steak and Blowjob Day on March 14th. Like, can you tell me this line graph doesn't match up with March 14th? There's 31 days out of the month. It's got to be like 49, 48% from the axis here. So it's right here. It is crazy that this lines up. All right. And this is Ross was talking about this last week. This was the seasonality of the Dow Jones in post-presidential election years. And we're right here, right, on Valentine's Day. And we're about to see a decline. And again, correlating with the graph I just showed you, again, it recovers by Steak and Blowjob Day on March 14th-ish, plus or minus. So it is uncanny that seasonality lines up between indexes. And this is pre-NVIDIA's merge. So the invasive species is not in here, but yet we're still seeing the same trends because this cuts off at 2020. So yeah, beautiful chart here. Again, shout out to Ross for this one. All right, cool. Let's get a little bit more surgical. And now that we talked about indexes, let's look at the specific subsectors of the S&P 500, the big 11, right? So let's run this really quick. So, oops. Oh, okay. So this is looking at a week-to-week performance, and each chunk here has this is a 5-week tail, if you can kind of see, and you can see its performance sector by sector. So the winners of the week include financial banks, communication stocks, materials, and real estate. Losers include energy stocks, consumer discretionary, and technology. So let's save this in our notes for our traders. Let's add it here. Okay, so that's the big subsectors. Let's go to our usual fan favorites. If there's anything in the chat, or if there's anything you guys want me to add, please just shout it out or put it in the chat. All right. And is Tom still here? Tom's here. Let's drop in, what's Tom's big holdings? It's got to be LMT, right? Okay, let's add LMT. Where is LMT? Where'd it go? Oh, not having a good time. Okay, right here. Okay, it's sucking canal water. Okay. Okay, but yeah, let's zoom out a little bit. Supermicro improving, and let's see, Palantir still doing really well. They're at what? 116 now? That's crazy. I remember Palantir trading at like Yahoo prices in the teenage figures. Okay, Upstart doing well. Damn, Flav selling puts like there's nobody's business. And here's CWeb, our China king at the moment. Alibaba, nothing like doing business with certified mass murderers, huh? Okay. Supermicro, Intel, Here's KWeb, Billy, Baidu, Weibo, FXI. Like this is beautiful. Like setting up my next tier of shorts. Thank you so much, China. And then losers include DJT, that's been a disaster, Tesla, some crypto mining, and a lot of oil stuff. All right, let me snap this. Let me get a screenshot for our folks. Here, I'll just do this big chunks here. Anything else you guys want me to add? No? Okay. Whoops, where'd it go? Okay. All right, excellent. Okay, so that's our sector rotation. Let's look at earnings. And we'll take a look at Reddit's earnings in just a smidge. But let's see for today, what do we have cooking? Coinbase, Palo Alto Networks, Twilio, DraftKings. Oh yeah, we talked about this Super Bowl week. Jerry Jones and Robert Kraft have a large stake in DraftKings. They did the initial fundraising round on the roadshow. I mean, of course, you would pitch to franchise owners, right? That's obvious. But yeah, and so much for Mahomes and the three-peat, right? Like, I guess only MJ gets to wear that crown. But yeah, let's see. Kraft has a stake in Jones, less than 5% of the company. That's still significant. Draft stock. Let's take a look at that really quick. And if you're part of the Theta Gang philosophy, the best traders think like bookies. And when you look at odds, you shouldn't look at it like this is what you can win or lose based on the action. The numbers you're seeing is what the bookie needs to balance his books. Like you need to see the bigger picture. Okay. All right. So yeah, that's that. So yeah, here's DraftKings having a good time overall. Yeah, nice COVID. I mean, everyone was gambling with their stimmy checks, right? And then we ran out of money. And now people are milking their credit card balances, right? Paying maximum APR to gamble on the Chiefs and whatnot. But yeah, crazy. All right. But yeah, let's take a look at Reddit. So yeah, as you know, I'm a huge Redditor. Being a nerdy writer, message boards is my thing instead of pictures. So yeah, let's see. Reddit is now trading 28 times revenue, 29 times revenue, 31 times revenue. It goes up one turn every day. Uh, let's see. And this is a cesspool for USAID money. Because there's robots, there's paid agitators, there's controlled opposition, and your boy Warren has been, suspended and blocked and deplatformed so many times on Reddit. It's great. So yeah. And no less, Carlos Slim's New York Times also had a lot of USA dollars, which makes sense, right? And then once Carlos Slim bought New York Times, all of a sudden there's a lot of pro-illegal migration articles. And if you guys don't know Carlos Slim, he is a major billionaire from the southern border. He owns the telecom sector. Like when you do remittances and you send money from like Western Union and whatnot, a lot of those payment gateways have to leverage or has to use his different networks, and he gets a cut of all of that. So yeah, he owns. I mean, this is an old figure, but yeah, he is 4 to 5% of Mexico's GDP. That's insane. And again, telecom, and yeah, and he is like the Stanley Ho, if you know your Chinese gambling history. He's like the Stanley Ho of Mexico. It's crazy. So yeah. I didn't know he came from Maronite Christians. Okay, interesting. But yeah, and he bought the New York Times. Okay. So yeah, wild times. Let's go to Reddit. Oops. But yeah, as we mentioned earlier, still, decent inflow. So until this gets down here, shorting this would not be smart. Okay, cool. Let's go to our next article. Oh, what else? Anything else? Airbnb today, AMATs, casino stocks, Chinese thing, AEM, if you like mining stuff. Um, Davida. This is part of our other fun watch list. We haven't talked about this since a while ago, but if you guys remember, what did I call it? Uh, Kidney stone? Oh, here we go. Kidney failure. Dialysis machines. It's a good sector. So here's Davida. Here's FMS, the other competitor. But yeah, this is the sector leader. Oh, I mean, they're both pretty like proportionately sized. Let's just take a look.
I'm not buying it. And you can get a dialysis machine for $36,000, the baddest thing in the world from China. Because I told my friend in Texas I would buy it for him if he could get the Medicare to handle his, the soft goods.
The variable cost isn't that bad. It's the initial overhead and CapEx investment that's so high. And
that's where I was saying
yeah.
I kind of got him fired, and he's a friend.
Oh, sorry to hear that.
Screw that.
But for your portfolio, like this is a monopoly. This is a captive audience, right? You're a drug dealer. Like, do you want to die?
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. The machine itself, the baddest machine in the world, is $36,000 from China.
That's it?
Yeah, it was nothing.
Relatively speaking, that's not. I mean,
Including shipping.
yeah. How do we Alibaba a dialysis machine? Like, how does this work? Yes, you
We
can.
talk offline.
Oh, that's hilarious. You can totally Alibaba stuff.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
The baddest machine in the world was $36,000 delivered.
That's crazy. Is there a dialysis can we get really racist by ethnicity? Because the reason I bring this up is, like Warren's different, right? Like I have walked into Davida's like lounge just to look at the audience. Warren will do that kind of stuff. And what I saw was disproportionately, at least in San Jose, a lot of Filipinos.
Yeah.
And if you think about their diet, it's so high glycemic, right? Like you never hear of Filipinos setting the longevity records. They're not in the blue zone, right? Like they don't know anything about Okinawa's diet regimen. And if you know Filipino people and their food, very nice people, crazy menu, and everything's sweet and fried. All right, can we get some racist data? We can't find this fast enough, but yeah, I'll look this up on my own time. All right, where are we? Earnings. Okay. Is this still running? I'm not sure. All right, now that earnings is done, let's go to. Oh, looks like Swaggy Stocks is back in action. Oh, thank God. Okay. Maybe the guy was on vacation. But yeah, looks like is this working? Yeah, Reddit, Tesla, Nvidia, PPI. Okay, definitely working. HIMS, Google, Intel, Hood, Apple, Alibaba, Palantir, the Qs, Meta, Supermicro. What is this again? I think it's a Chinese thing. AMD, Google, Archer, Eggs, Microsoft, TDT, Rocket Lab. What's war? Oh, that's just a buzzword. And GLD. Okay. So at a glance, Reddit very bearish. Q's bearish. Interesting. And that correlates with our NVIDIA read, right? And what is the Q's if not an NVIDIA cesspool, right? This NVIDIA is an invasive species index-wise. Okay. But yeah, pronounced optimism on NVIDIA overall at the moment. But we'll see what happens. All right, cool. So that's Wall Street Bets and what they're trading. And it's our job to sell them lottery tickets at improbable strikes. All right, and let's go to Meta and Econ News. Let's talk PPI for a second. And this was hotter than expected. And then CPI north of 2%. It's just ridiculous. And then Powell's 90-minute bullshit interview the other day. Just like it's just all garbage. But yes, PPI is the forward leading indicator for CPI. Like, hello. Okay. And even I didn't figure that out. I gotta give credit to Peter Schiff. Like when he said it on his podcast, I'm like, oh, that's how you read PPI. Okay.
So I
And
think those weird. I put the raw documents in Discord.
for
I was going to read them today.
where's the docs?
Current, I think.
Oh, perfect. Thank you. Cool. Cool. And then let's talk macro numbers with the deficit, right? So that old figure of 100 days per 1 trillion has to be thrown out the window yet again. So let's zoom in a little bit. So government spent a record 642 billion, a 29% increase from this is just a monthly count. Oh my God, to January. So yeah, we're spending a lot more money than we should.
Yeah.
And we collected not enough receipts for the amount of increase in expenditures. That's always wonderful. And yeah, even trimming $1 billion a day, we'll never make it. We'll never make it. I didn't realize Medicare was bigger than Social Security.
Yeah, that's why you should go after the hospitals and the durable care and drugs.
Like from a sociological and historical point of view, what we need as a species is, I mean, we figured out separation of church and state. Like when you combine the guns of the state with the afterlife, a lot of people die, right? And we need to get the government out of economics. Like that's the next step. Like humanity's finally figuring out that politicians cannot be trusted whatsoever, whether it's Trump or the peanut farmer or anyone else. It doesn't matter. That position is corrupted. So yeah.
My point was primary care guys are being paid terribly, and your physical therapy and not as much chiropractors, but the hospitals for their giant. Every person has a baby gets $18,000 worth of medical care, and babies are dime a dozen. They do a lot of babies every single day. It's not like that's a difficult procedure.
Yeah. I definitely there's inequities in the
And
Medicare
it's repeat
workforce.
business is super high profit margin is where I'm going. The $1,000 a month drugs are just super high profit margin. It's not. If you're going after Medicare spending, you go after these repeat things.
What's
Really
the
big.
farm donations doctor lookup? So interesting thing about pharmaceuticals, they have to disclose their kickbacks to doctors. And here's a website, Open Payments. That's right. Look up your doctor. I've looked up mine, which is why like I respect the crap out of him. So here's my doctor. He did my stem cell injection for my knee. So and he's a friend and a fellow Trump fan. So this is my homeboy. And he's basically me, but the medical version, and he's 15 years older. It's uncanny, and he's from Taiwan, whereas I'm from Shanghai. So, but he's Warren, like if you can imagine that. So yeah, he did my plasma-rich platelet injection. It's a form of stem cell therapy. It's so kick-ass. It's pretty cool. I can show you like my pictures and stuff. Yeah, like and I need to save up and do it again because I've like really hurt my shoulders from training too hard. Okay. But yeah, so my doctor, let's just go back to the website. Yeah. He's received almost nothing. Like, And if you've seen pharmaceutical reps in the doctor's office, they're gorgeous and they bring food and chocolates. I've seen it in person and I've dated some of them. All right. But yeah, look up your person. This will be fun. All right. All right, the fun stuff, Black Swan list. And it's 11:30. All right, we got to close out by 12 so I can get back to my fun NASDAQ stuff. So yeah, no update on Black Swans just yet. We have more theaters of war this week. All right. And speaking of theaters of war, we need to oil our firearms. But yes, the Worcester, Massachusetts is going to be a sanctuary city for transgenders. It's a shame that like Massachusetts is this cesspool now. Like machine politics have destroyed the region. I mean, I don't really blame the Irish. It's just that power corrupts, and there's just so much wealth and
Pay more
shit.
taxes.
Yeah.
Seriously, at some point, somebody needs to start writing reports of here's where your tax dollars are going. You know, do you hate your taxes?
Right, and that's why
20% of your taxes goes to these stupid things. Do you like this? And maybe they'll stop voting for this stupid things.
Fair, yeah. So this looks like it's a suburb out of Boston, an hour away. I haven't spent a lot of time here. I'm sure a lot of you folks know it a lot better than me. You know, I've been as far as here, Framingham. I had like a meeting here. But yeah, I'm not a fan of Boston. It's so uppity. I don't like the vibe. And or the weather. It's horrific there. But yeah, this is scary.
Boston is where Harvard is. That's where all the lunacy is coming from.
Right. And and as a Stanford guy, Larry, you're gonna love this. Harvard MBAs cannot find jobs. The employment rate, I think, is like 23%, if I remember correctly. Let's see, acceptance. Is it job rate? Jobs. And now that Harvard's catching so much DEI fallout from last year, if you guys remember, people are discounting the value of a Harvard MBA, as they should. I worked at a metrology lab, right? And the two founders were Harvard MBAs, just sales guys, but they ran a metrology lab, which is ironic because the CEO's dad was the effing CFO for Applied Materials. Like he had hookups, Nepo baby, right? But at my interview, I still remember this. The two guys looked at me and they saw my options background a little bit, and because it's on my resume, and they just asked me a couple questions. They realized Warren knows his shit. But then they asked me the litmus test question. Warren, what do you think about gold? And Warren loves gold, right? And these two guys just laughed and smirked at me because they're Keynesians from Harvard. Yeah. Who's laughing now?
I'm willing to bet that all of the board of directors of Boeing are Harvard MBAs.
Absolutely. I mean, McKinsey and Company, Baines, all these mofos, right? All the management consultants hail from this place. And my boss in that Harvard duel, he was a McKinsey professional for years before he did startups. But yeah, just be careful. And with the trainees from Boston. And we don't have time to go into Camille Paglia, but I want to link her video and the fall of the Roman Empire and just give you the hypothesis. So yeah, I'll drop this here. Actually, that screenshot's beautiful. Okay. So for Larry, who's driving and whatnot, I'll describe this quickly. So Camille Paglia is interesting because she's a sociologist or a writer, like a feminist. She's a lesbian, but she's an interesting person. But it's not about that. But sorry, I'm just trying to get the screenshot up. Why am I not doing this correctly? Okay, so what she says is her whole point is there was transgender mania at the end of the Roman Empire. And she's making a case that she's seen this before, and what's happening now is not good. and we need to slow this down. Roman Empire.
No, I agree with that totally.
Yeah, and she has and she has a great conversations with Jordan Peterson and whatnot. And from like a sociological point of view, like it's really fascinating. And she doesn't let her like personal ideology get in the way of these macro trends. So I really salute her for doing that.
There's a trend of normal gay people don't necessarily like trans.
Exactly. And their pushback is very interesting. And well, we don't have time to get into it, but that's fascinating.
The older ones just want to be left alone. This.
Right.
They like gay weeks, the first couple weeks of June, but not necessarily any of the rest of it.
Yeah, and I think as super libertarians, the way I feel about it is like, look, you should be able to be gay at home with machine guns, smoking weed.
And I'm perfectly happy saying that Gay Week is, a difficult weeks to get us vacation if you're not gay.
That would be fair because
I mean, if they want to go off and party, it's like their spring break parties.
yeah. But that's breaking down now. DEI is rolling backwards. Google's kissing the ring and all of that. So, but for the last 10 years in corporate America in the Silicon Valley, if you were a minority and gay, you were like a super class in the hierarchy. Like you were untouchable. Like people look at you the wrong way, they get fired. I'm just so glad like I'm out of that bullshit. All right. Other theaters of war, we have a new productive call. You know what? In due time, RSX might trade again. And with if you guys remember the Russian ETF, this last trade is what? What's this? 2020, sorry, 22. That's just crazy. And again, if you had a debit trade, this you couldn't close, so you lost all of your money. But if you sold credit spreads, you didn't care. Now, again, for retail, like credit spreads is just you have such a home team advantage, and it's so forgiving. You can be wrong and still make money. You can still make full profit even if you're wrong. Like it's just a better way to do business. All right, so we don't have a lot of time. We're gonna go a little fast, but yeah, Ukraine, some significant improvements, and we'll see what's up. And technically, what was the old argument that Putin pushed back on? Zelensky cannot sign a peace agreement because he's not a legitimate leader. If you guys saw that rhetoric, which is interesting.
Well,
And
they also hate him.
right, but Zelensky, I mean, the context of this for the other folks who are just following this is Zelensky banned elections and did extremely undemocratic things and sent the FSD to kill Gonzalo Lira, if you guys remember that, at the behest of Undersecretary of State Victoria Nuland. So yeah. And God, I hope Elon or Trump could like give Gonzalo Lira like the Congressional Medal of Honor or something. If I had 5 minutes with either one of them, like that's the only one ask I would make. Okay. And then more kinetic stuff for Iran. Yeah, whatever. Okay. But yeah, let's talk Turkey with the mighty dollar, right? Cash is king. And let's take a look at our performance. And with Trump in office, we've seen a softening of this, which is good for business, and pisses off our trading partners internationally. But it makes gold go up. So, I don't care. So yeah. But yeah, for now we're at 107, 253, and we are the cleanest shirt in the laundry basket. But if you track gold in other currencies, especially the Canadian dollar, it's been sitting all-time highs for a while now. All right, cool. Thank you, Lord Tethers, for this. And is he here today? No, that's okay. And let's take a look at Goldman Sachs read of the crypto ETFs and look at the count. All right. So in summation, let's see. At least for Goldman, they've seen a 2,000% increase in the Ethereum ETF. And over 1.5 billion for their Bitcoin ETF. So you have to also think like a lot of this is how do you say siphoning money out of the gold trade into the crypto trade, which is why gold stocks, silver mining stocks get no love. Yep. Okay. So that's that. Let's fast forward a little bit. All right, pivoting to domestic news. You guys probably saw a lot of these headlines. I don't want to overdo it. And I'm sure politically, a lot of people's heads are exploding. And it's funny that the left the folks on the left are waking up to the concept of psyops. They're like, oh no, Elon stole the election. It's like, yes, continue down that rabbit hole. See where that goes. It's just really funny. So yeah, and then the swamp defenses are in effect. And oh yeah, I wanna like when I saw this Rico stuff, I instantly thought of Fiona Ma. Let's see if we can find the APAC meeting website, if you guys remember. And then that's where I told you guys the story. Here we go. Yeah, 2023. That was 2 years ago. No, this is something else. I'm sorry. Let's see. Xi Jinping. That will leave it there. APEC. Sorry, APEC. Is the official website still up? It's gotta be. If not, it's mirrored everywhere. Oh, they literally sold the domain and someone else already camped on it. Okay, that's why. Okay, I see what happened. We'll have to go to an archive tool really quick.
So I've been seeing a lot of videos with really radical, angry left people saying that we're stealing the Constitution, blah blah blah. I mean, they're very
Right.
they're very racist. They're flat out calling white people horrible names.
And it's beautiful. God bless them. But yeah, this is the old website, if you guys remember. And your boy Warren went out there and was looking for heads to crack. All right. And here's Fiona Ma, the state treasurer. Like, I know this skank. She came to my grandma's house nonstop for like 2 years because she was doing business with my aunt. And what can I say? We know the same criminals. And I call them criminals, you call them politicians. And like the shit I've seen. But yeah, let me explain to her what she got caught up in. Like I don't know what to make of this. She didn't look bisexual to me, but I know she was having extramarital affairs. Like I can name names, and but she basically the claim here is like she sexually assaulted a female staffer. Like it's just bizarre. So yeah, and someone ran cover for her, and this was settled for a very low amount and was quietly scrubbed off the internet because they want her to be lieutenant governor in 2026. And then she makes the slow climb to governorship. And when she was a lowly fucking county supervisor, like that's when I met her. And she was in deep with the San Francisco Triads, the Miss Chinatown pageant. Like she was one of the handlers sending off the girls for political payoffs to donors. I am not kidding.
Well, what you need to do is you need to accumulate all of that data and then find the person that she's running against, and hopefully they're from LA, and then turn it into the LA Times.
Beautiful, Dave. We need to make that.
Just like they did for Newsom.
So applied counterintelligence. I
Yeah.
like it. I'm gonna write that down. Thank you. So yeah, that's why. I mean, I know I look young and just like an Asian kid, but God, I've lived like 10 lifetimes before age 20. It's just hard to explain. Like I've seen so much shit. All right, good times. Not tradable, but it's crazy that California politics has involved my family like at a deep level, and China and Beijing and Shanghai and Macau. It's crazy. Okay. All right. Yeah. All right. All right. Tariffs, as promised earlier. All right. All right. Let's go to this. So, here is the breakdown. All right. Let's pull up this chart. All right. Average tariffs for the US. And here's our top 15 trading partners, right? So US trades with Mexico, Canada, China, Germany, Japan, South Korea, Taiwan, Vietnam, UK, India, the Dutchies, the Irish, the Italians, the Francophiles, and the Portuguese. Okay. All right. And who's our biggest trading partner? Looks like, oh, so the highest tariffs now will be by order of, sorry, um, the simple average of the average tariff. India has 17%, South Korea has 13, Brazil has 11, China has 7.5, Taiwan has 6, Mexico has 6.8, and then a lot of the European countries at around 5%. So yeah, we're kind of punishing the brown people, huh? Holy shit.
Sorry, what does this show?
The average tariff at the moment.
Oh, okay.
So right. So this is before, I know we have it's cooking, right? With Canada and Mexico. This is just the lay of the land. So 20% for Mexico will take it from like 6.8% to maybe almost 8%. And for Canada, it would go from like 3.8 to about 5%, almost 5%. So
How
it
come
is.
it's so high on South Korea?
I don't know. I don't know. I've never looked at this figure. Yeah. Is this number why they're not having babies? It doesn't help, right? Like, holy shit. That's a good point.
It'd be semiconductors, DRAM and NAND and TVs.
Yeah, NAND flash and whatnot, Hynix. Yeah. So yeah, that's a good question. I'm gonna look it up. South Korea,
I think
why?
it's cars.
Is it cars?
Maybe.
Yeah, let's look it up. Let's Google South Korea high tariffs. Why? And they're a vassal state of America. Like, why are we punishing them?
That's the problem with tariffs.
Like, is this to keep them in line?
I
Or this is just a grift? Like
think it's an easy target.
yeah. Because
And-
you think you'd punish the Japanese before the Koreans.
Yeah.
At least the way I rank, Asian imperialism, like fuck the Japanese first, right?
Japanese.
Yeah, this Google search isn't going very well quickly, but I'll look it up on my own time and report back. So yeah, so that's where we are at the moment, and we'll see how the trade tariffs proceed in the future. And yeah, so the reciprocation would mean Turkey strikes back as first, India, Indonesia, Vietnam, Thailand, South Africa, Cambodia, and the rest. Blah, 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 blah. But yeah, this is still all in play, so nothing's set in stone just yet. So yeah, it's a great article. You can read this at your leisure. We're a little bit short on time, so we'll fast forward. Okay, let's pivot to ITB for our real estate sector. Let me load the chart really quick and get that ready. All right, so this again tracks the home builders ETF. You got the real estate developers in here. You got the paint companies. You got you got Home Depot and Lowe's. And let's drop this screenshot and let's see how we're performing.
So it'd be interesting if there was a REIT for Washington, D.C. Who's got exposure to all of that Washington, D.C. real estate that's not going to have renters?
I don't think they would allow us to short commercial real estate in that fashion. Like, would the SEC give me an ISDA to process stuff like that and make a market? Because I'd be trading against their friends in the XLF sector. Oh no, we'll never be allowed to trade that. Yeah,
I'm going to go look just to see if.
that would be fun. Let me know. But yeah, here's ITB, and this is not having a good time, right? So this is the actual barometer of new home builds. So obviously, high capitalization rates for mortgages is not helping. Higher commodity prices doesn't help, and a weakened consumer doesn't help. So naturally, not building a lot of homes. And forget looking at permit counts. Look at the actual numbers here of the stock market. Cool. All right, let's pivot to tech news. We got to finish in 10 minutes. And all right, so a little sleepy this week, but yes, Blue Origin is kind of surrendering a little bit to Elon. And between all these different technocrats, everyone has their kind of realm, right? So you got the PayPal mafia side, you got Peter Thiel, you got Elon in Beijing, you got Mr. Bozo here with Plastic Fantastic, all kinds of stuff. And we have dumb armored Teslas, which also includes the city of Irvine, right? I've shown you guys the dumb photos they have there. I wonder if they're still operational. Let's see. Irvine Police Cybertruck. Oh yeah, and Larry and I have been chatting. What is it? How many people know the emergency and manual door opening procedures for their Tesla? And there's two pathways. There's one from outside of the car and one from inside. Do you know both of them? If not, guess what? You're gonna fucking die. Which basically means the Tesla ownership issue is a self-correcting problem. To be really dark. Everything is okay in the end, one way or another. All right, cool. Next article, the big cultural shift as Google Calendar removes Pride, Black History Month, and other DEI dates. And DEI staff are like horrified. And I used to know a lot of HR folks and DEI girls, and they're super cunts. And yeah, I'm kind of worried about that because my longtime ex-girlfriend, she does diversity programs for the engineering department at Uber. And I mean, she wasn't a techie, but she got in through like HR operations and then transitioned to that role. And at the time when we were still together, I said like, this is not a smart move. But they were hiring like crazy and they paid really well. And it was a really easy job. And obviously not working anymore. So sad. I don't know. We kind of lost touch. Or not lost touch. She got married and like moved the fuck on as she was supposed to. But yeah. So yeah.
HR people suck.
Yeah. Oh, Gonzalo Lira has an amazing video. Let me find this really quick on HR, which is incredible. Red pill, age, human resources. Here we go. So I know he does geopolitics, but he got famous first about 10 to 13 years ago for talking about like Patrice O'Neal dating points, but in the modern context. And what part of his life advice to young men was some corporate America strategies, and one of them was human resources. It's a great video. Here, let me drop this in the chat. And his best other video is actually something I can teach. I do it really well, which is how to work a room. Like you go to a happy hour, there's 200 people. You have business contacts, you have people you want to date, like all kinds of things happening. How do you manage your 1 hour in that room? Here's a breakdown. And when he was talking about this, I was like, I do all of these things because I study people with a life and death intensity, and no one watches people heavier than an introvert, a DJ, and a writer. And I'm all three, right? So yeah. I know I talk a lot in these meetings, but most of the day I'm just talking to my dog, and he's like, oh my God, this guy's talking to himself again. But yeah, this is probably his best non-geopolitical, non-dating video. So yeah, incredibly valuable. Check it out. All right. Speaking of which, speaking of Elon, his company's falling apart. So this is international sales. I don't know why it's in a different language, but is it Spanish? Yeah. But yeah, it's a disaster. So let's go to Tesla. Yeah. How's our momentum? Danger zone. It's at the zero line, treading water. And again, the Tesla fan base is majority liberals. And sure, there's some conservative folks buying the cars now, especially Cybertrucks for some stupid reason. But the lion's share are all liberals, and they're dumping the stock and the cars. It's over for Tesla. Like this is a dead cat bounce, the suckers rally, right? Like that's literally the formation of the pattern. And it's at the zero line. You can short this now in confidence. This is what I would call a known loser. So yeah, you're fucked, Elon. And you're up 5% today, like perfect. You're just building a higher scaffold to hang yourself with. So yeah, good times there. So yeah, again, there's a call to violence from the I guess radical left. Wild. And again to play the devil's advocate, if some illegal immigrants block off Highway 101 and then takes a crowbar to your Tesla, and let's say they incapacitate the video, sorry, not the video, the car, like the battery goes out, the doors lock. How are you not going to die? Right? And if you're a Tesla owner, you're probably unarmed to begin with. Like this is not going to end well for anybody. So yeah, having a simple door that works 24/7 is important. If it requires battery power,
Seat belts are hard enough to break windows, just so you know.
yeah. And also your headrest in
Yeah,
California, you can take it off and then poke.
But
Yeah.
that's a big deal. Your seatbelt, you can usually get out of your seatbelt.
Or if you have blades on you like Warren does, like Warren freaking, like Warren literally, here's my Tonto blade, right? And then I have pliers and my Letterman with knives and tools. Like
Yeah, I understand. The last pickup truck I had a rusty machete.
my dad was even more hardcore. Like just have a giant like flashlight, the
Yeah.
metal one.
I had that too. When I had police cars.
Yeah.
You still have it, but
And Warren would say, keep a flare gun. It's actually quite an excellent defensive weapon. All right. Sorry. Let's move to organized labor and organized crime. So yes, next topic: federal workers. At least 70,000 federal workers have accepted the buyout offer. And again, as we've demonstrated before, the reason for this was a lot of them were cooking multiple jobs and milking work from home and blah, 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 and grifting and pork belly leftovers everywhere. So just extreme rent-seeking behavior. And this buyout is, I guess, only 2% of the workforce. But as we've discussed before, by president, Donald Trump has seen the largest growth of federal employee headcount by far. 2% was under his first term. Ronald Reagan has one of the biggest ones, and he's only like 1.5%, I believe. Obama's like 1.3, shockingly enough. Hey, we call a spade here. Like Trump, you're kind of like Reagan. You talk a big game about limited government, but you don't fucking deliver.
so the interesting data point is federal employees outside the military, the actual physical military guys, is 2 million people. It's huge. And there's only like 178 million people in the workforce.
And can we talk about their ethnicity and age without being racist? It's basically a black female welfare program, skilled.
Stay away from that one.
And
yeah, I brought up the video about the really angry people. Yeah, that was definitely
yeah.
People.
And you're at ground zero in Sacramento, right? Like you go to those parking lots, like you know what's up.
Yeah.
All right. Let's talk about fun international news. I know we talked about a lot of stuff. Let's talk Germany for a second, right? The DAX. All right. Sucking suckers in. Like really? Flight to safety, and you think the German stock market will save you? What are you smoking? Please give me some. Uh, but yeah, this is just lunacy. This is lunacy. If you can't tell this is an overheated market and a pump and dump, like I don't know what to tell you.
Well, you get in for a couple weeks.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, everyone's looking for the next, hot sector, and this is just the flavor of the last couple of weeks. This is not sustainable. So yeah, just look at the chart. Like, come on, take profits, move on. Okay. Research done. All right. Oil and commodity news, Chevron. Let's take a look. CVX. Right? CVX, right? Yeah, Chevron.
Yeah.
I dated a Chevron engineer. She worked at the refinery. She specialized in motor oils. And again, the best Dexcom product that she cannot reverse engineer is Mobil 1 full synthetic oil. And that's what she buys. Like when she does her oil change, she gives the Jiffy Lube, like, here's the exact oil I want you to use. Don't bait and switch me. Don't you give me your house shit. Use this. Mobil 1 full synthetic.
I do that. You buy 5 quarts for like $23.
Yeah, instead of $70 getting ripped off at their yeah. So, BYOB, right? So yeah. Yeah, just yeah. Fascinating, like crazy Shanghainese girl. Would not recommend. All right, but yes, this is nice channel bound activity. We see a nice consolidating isosceles triangle formation. We're dancing right at the 200 and 500-day moving average. It's a nice tight band. And looking at momentum in a 90-day snapshot here, we're right at the zero line, treading water. So Chevron's kind of like, I don't know what to do, and it's holding its breath. But big dog, freaking Exxon is going whole hog here. Like it's like I don't care if I'm not popular. I'm gonna send out exploration teams. I'm gonna get new permits, and I'm going to just push the envelope. Like I respect that as an entrepreneur. So clearly, Chevron's consolidating and doing force protection stuff, and Exxon's like, you know what? This is a time to expand. Like they're both valid strategies. If you're like a historical buff, Exxon versus Chevron here, like this exact dynamic is like Julius Caesar versus Pompey, and they're trying to figure out how to kill each other. This is kind of interesting. Like we don't have time to go into that, but yeah.
The Exxon has a lot of existing stuff in Alaska. So opening up Alaska means they might be able to double their output out of Alaska.
Yeah, yeah. And then shout out to our homeboy Faraz, right? And his big call out in the XLE sector is PR, the Permian Reservoir. What was it?
Permian Basin.
Yeah. So it's another hotbed of a lot of oil deposits of various types, and it's resurrecting drill baby drill for a lot of things. So yeah.
So the wells only last 30 months.
So yeah, and then similar consolidation pattern here, but they really want World War III to kick off, and we'll see what happens. All right, we're running out of time, but we got to finish. So yeah, we talked about that. We can skip coffee beans. EIA was going to spike natural gas prices. I think it makes sense. Let's take a look at UNG really quick. And I do have a bunch of soft shorts on it, and I should probably close out because I do see a double top forming. So yeah, maybe I'll just close out today. But momentum-wise, the Widowmaker sees a lot of inflows here. And speaking of Widowmakers, holy cow, it's January and February. And if you know any divorce lawyers, this is peak season. In fact, they were already jammed out in November and December. I talked to a bunch of my lawyer friends, and man, the family law attorneys, they're just like, they can't even talk to me. They're so busy, like counting their money. Crazy. All right. Precious metals. We talked about gold and silver. It's moved a little bit since we started the meeting, actually. It's 29.26. It's going to break 3,000 by like month end. It's crazy. And especially if tariffs kick off, you'll see arbitrage happen with the physical metal side. So Canadian maples, Mexican peso gold coins will spike in value for existing holders. And for all new folks, there's a new surcharge, which will basically arbitrage the physical market to the other mints. I mean, for Canada and Mexico, they don't really care. Like, there's lots of buyers for their great physical products. And if America doesn't want it, who cares? Ship it to Europe, Australia, and China. They're buying all they can. So, yeah. But yeah, let's take a look at our final gold and silver tallies. We'll look at our China news and we'll call it a day here. All right. So as you see, a lot of COMEX warehouses take delivery. Yeah, this is going to be really interesting. So yeah, a lot of these paper contracts, people are smarting up or getting smarter, and they're taking physical delivery because they understand it's a fugazi and it's now officially a game of hot potato. So yeah, I don't know what else to say. It's amazing, but in the gold market, especially today, I'll show you guys. Where's my fusion one? Super Saiyan Fusion. Okay, so here's all the gold and silver miners, and especially KGC. It's been a disaster today. So my long stocks have not done very well today, but yeah. So yeah, today it looks like obviously people are selling, are taking profits in a big way. But we could look at like GDX for the basket of gold miners, and yeah, I would agree you should take profits at some point. But yeah, that's at least happening with KGC. So so you see here very strong inflows, but just yeah, it's gonna form a new base and plateau, and then yeah, we see ATR exploding right now, but this will flatten out again and it'll form a new base, and then we'll ladder in for the new longs. So yeah, still really bullish, but yeah, there is profit taking happening. And if you look at the analytics, you'll see that yeah, it's still very bearish. Sorry, very, very bullish overall, despite the profit taking today. And in fact, people are seeing this intelligently that, hey, we should buy the dip. So yeah. And me with my 200 shares here, we're holding the line.
That's where I would buy spreads
Yeah.
out of the money.
And you would milk the increased incoming implied volatility.
Right.
Right. So yeah, that's more of an advanced concept.
You could
Okay.
sell put spreads, I guess, at the
Yeah.
money.
Yeah, you could. And just making sure you date it out long enough so
Right.
it has room to
This is
run.
a long-term hold.
Yeah. And if it hits earlier, just take profits earlier. Yeah. All right, cool. Let's do our China news and call it a day. And let's go to our Shanghai Stock Exchange. And again, this is one of the saddest stock markets in the world. It's been stuck at the 3,000 mark for 15 years. And if you know anything about Chinese stocks, it's nothing but insider trading in China. Nothing but. I've seen it firsthand. I've seen my uncle cook up deals with the ICBC, GM in Macau. Like, you guys don't understand the level of collusion and corruption. The A-share market in China is for pure suckers. They make Wall Street bets look like saints and angels by comparison. Like, post 1940s China is just for idiots. Okay, sorry. Enough of my ranting. But yeah, where are we right now? It's picking up. The DeepSeek, unofficial bail-in was successful, but how long will this last? We'll see. So relatively up for the month, up to 2.82%. But let's take a look. Let's pull up FXI, our large cap internet stock ETF.
So that's where like the JPM reports are good, because they'll have the 9 to 36 month stuff.
Yeah, fair. I mean, their analyst team is robust, and with legions of quants and stuff.
And
Yeah,
they're free. They're good reports.
yeah. But yeah, here's FXI. There is money rotating in. DeepSeek helped a lot, and also this is the final curtain call, right, for China's great last hurrah. so it's like watching the fall of Berlin, really. But yeah, let's look at the chart here, and you see a four top forming, right? So here was bail-in number one, number two, number three, and we're right at that watermark. And this appears to be a glass ceiling. Even though it's a green candle, these are very hesitant candles. Doji, 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 fat evening star, and then yeah. So yeah, not very strong, very hollow. And let's take a look at the poster child, right? Alibaba. And don't forget, Jack Ma doesn't run this company anymore. Like Beijing runs it wholesale. And where do they send Jack Ma? Like go figure out like Jack Ma's his current homework assignment is was it like food products. He's doing like ready to eat bullshit. So yeah, this is why he's not in the gulag. He's doing like instant food heat up things. Like this is a total bitch slap. Like yeah, prepackaged food space. Yeah, that's all he's doing. And if you think, further out, the reason it's for this is it's not for the populace. He's using the general public of China as his testing dummy. This is prepackaged food for the People's Liberation Army for the inevitable war that Beijing will have to launch just to save their own ass. So you kind of need to read between the lines here. Like Jack Ma doesn't give a shit about food, but this is his current homework assignment. Like either you go to the gulag or you do what we need to get done. And he's still a Chinaman, which means he's a coward. So, he's not Warren Wong. He's gonna comply.
Well, kill him.
And he's scared to die, and not everyone is.
If he ran off the United States or Canada, I think they'd whack him. If he talks shit, they'd whack him.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And let's take a look at the currency itself and where that is. All right, here's a 2-year chart. So yeah, we're not too far from the normal range of business. Let's zoom out a little bit. Yeah, it's fairly normal, relatively speaking. You have the soft glass ceiling, but long term, I mean, technically, there's deflation in China that they've been fighting with debt, which is exploding other problems. Yeah. So we'll see. Okay, so yeah, 7.29. Let's get to the fun stuff. All right, we'll have to grab this in real time together. But yeah, let's take a look. All right, so people are diving for safety right now with Chinese stocks temporarily, and yeah, as the article states, K-Web is the king. Let's just go to the damn chart. All right, so here's K-Web, China's internet stock. So again, let's go to our watch list, right? So Panda Tech. So internet would include like Tencent, Alibaba, a lot of the e-commerce players, and what wouldn't be included would be Chinese EVs, which is a disaster. So in the China resurrection here, there's different tiers and diverging realities. So if you're internet stocks, you're having a good time. And if you want a little bit more leverage, here's C-Web, right? The 2X bullish ETF. And as you can see, strong inflows, very, very above the zero line on the on-balance volume. But Chinese EVs, disaster. NIO, disaster. Li Auto, well, a little bit better. XPEV, disaster, or a little bit better. Okay, but yeah, it's not as strong as the internet side at least. So yeah, let's fast forward out of this and let's go to the other fun stuff. So shifting to the military news, and we'll call it a day here. But yes, owner of U.S. defense contractor making fighter jet missile parts listed as a Chinese intel agency official. There's just a lot of these people, and everyone's double dealing under the table. The Indians with Russian oil, Singaporeans with NVIDIA GPUs. Like there's just so much money involved that people are corrupt, and there's a market for corruption. What else can I say? Crime pays. Really. Um, if you're too moral, like this freaking idealist, like I don't have a lot of money to show for it. Like not at all. Like I'm turning down what is it? TikTok's $500,000 like job proposals and shit. Like you guys saw that last year or last year. It's crazy. Okay. Let's get to our last fun article of the day. This video is really entertaining as I left the link here. But yeah, this to just give you a sense of the military corruption. This is why Taiwan will never be invaded. So just as this is a snapshot of the J-10 fighter jet, the supposed 5G fighter plane to China. And they skipped a couple digits, but yeah, sure. Just to show you how the money was allocated for just designing of their helmets. Step one, the initial proposal is 10 million RMB. And then, so they retained 5 million for actual R&D and then subcontracted the rest. And then they earmarked 10% just for bribes. And then actual research and production is only 4 million. So it's just a lot of grifting. And again, everything that's not nailed down is repurposed and stolen. And yeah, so basically, if you look at it this way, they're just doing what we do. They look at the military industrial complex as how do I get rich? It's not to defend the country. It's how do I get rich? Now, the 1980s and 70s People's Liberation Army veterans, different ethos. They actually love their country and they're hustlers. They're just really poor. But they grow up and get rich and then they date their daughters. And that's how I know that connection. So yeah. What did Dave send here? Did you
I'm
guys-
just posting things. Don't worry about it.
Oh, I didn't feel the earthquake flaw. South Korea, let's see. Yeah, lots of NAND flash memory here and circuit board stuff. We let the Koreans do that, but we don't let the Japanese. And we basically tell ASML who to sell to. So it's kind of interesting that we've kind of earmarked the Asian workforce in that way. But yeah.
And I have the United States. I'll post it.
Yeah.
I'm putting them in
Fascinating. Thank you, sir.
Discord too.
Yeah. So yeah, beautiful example of grifting. This is why like everything from their super, magnetic launcher on the supposed aircraft carrier that doesn't work, like none of this works. Like there's a bad Ferrari joke, an ex-wife joke, which is yeah, my ex-wife is just like my Ferrari. It doesn't work. So yeah, yeah, Chinese grifting. It's like us, but more. It's faster. Like it's like there's a line item for briberies, and then a chain of custody, and you got to make sure you feed the right big dog. And I've been to those dinner meetings. It's hilarious. All right. Good times. So that's the week 7, and we'll have to call it here because I really need to hit the restroom and close out my trades because we're getting to that final drop dead hour. But yeah, cool. Well, thank you guys. And for those of you who are coming out tomorrow, I'd love to see you guys at Denny's 6 to 9 p.m. Anyone from here going? Here's my cell if you guys need it. Am I going to see anybody? I'll just sit there and eat ice cream and quesadillas by myself. All right. There was a picture I wanted to add here. Where did it go? But yeah. Yeah, we'll call it here, guys. Let me stop the